As we focus on the state of our county, Cameron County, boy, there's a lot of good news to report. And as you'll be hearing on KURV from our county judge, Eddie Trevino, on that, I want to look at business on the front lines. A special thank you to our friend and brother Ford Sasser, all the gang at Rio Bank. We have at ground zero, speaking of Cameron County, he is the market president for Rio Bank in Cameron County. I welcome to the program Armando Recio. Thank you for making time to speak with us. Thank you for your support in this a special focus on the state of Cameron County. So let's start with some of the lending activity that you've seen. Yeah, we had a couple of rate cuts by the
Yeah.
Fed quarter, and I'm thinking, maybe not a big blip on the radar, but because of what is happening in Cameron County, the infusion of capital, private sector, port, Elon Musk, I'm thinking the volume of business at Rio Bank and your colleagues and friends down the street, that is
Right.
probably growing steadily these days in Cameron County.
Yes, Sergio. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
you bringing me on. And yeah, absolutely. I think right now it's a good time to be a banker in the Rio Grande Valley, and especially down here in Cameron County. We've got a lot of good things going on, as you mentioned. What you see if you ever drive for the island from Brownsville through 48, that big oil investment that's being made and at the LNG plant.
Mhm.
Of course, we're all familiar with SpaceX, what Elon Musk is doing out there. And then the Port of Brownsville has done a lot of good things, bringing in other uh, projects. I believe there's a wood mill coming in there as well and stuff. So just with all that investment in our community, it's the job creation that it's creating. Um, absolutely, we've done very well here, as all banks have, I believe,
Yeah.
in being able to help our community in some of these development projects. Go due to all the job creation that creates housing demand. And like just this LNG alone, I believe the numbers are between 5 to 7 thousand jobs being created in our community just with that project alone. The wood mill, the SpaceX, all that new jobs being created. Um, there's a lot of housing demand now, so that's the kind of the projects that we're looking at here. At Rio Bank, we are a community bank here, but our focus is commercial lending. Um, so we've looked at a lot of different projects, but some in particular that we've really been focusing on here is the last couple of years is a lot of real estate development.
Okay.
The development of subdivisions. We've also done a lot of multifamily projects just because of the housing demand. We have a lot of contractors and builders who have come by and requested guidance lines of credit so they can build homes, 1 to 4 family homes or duplexes and things like that. So I think due to the economic boom that we're having here right now, it's really creating a lot of jobs and which is creating a lot of housing demand. And so that's kind of what we've been looking at here recently.
10-4. Armando Recio is with Rio Bank. He is the market president for Rio Bank in Cameron County. As our focus is the state of the county for Cameron County. We're getting the perspective from the front line of business on lending and banking, capital infusion. Now, we know that from out of market, Armando, with the LNG project, that big fat project, that one by itself was 18 plus $billion, they said. And
Right.
then, of course, you got steel operations, everything else that's taking place. Elon Musk down the street, probably another five or so bits. So about 20, $25 billion flowing into the economy. I'm sure you've seen that reflected in bank deposits in 2025 with possibly greater increases in
Correct.
26. What can you tell me as far as bank deposit numbers for 25?
Well, I was looking at the numbers here. I think their bank deposit totals come out on the June of every, for the state, June of every year. And as of June 2025, the increase from 24 to 25 wasn't as significant as we would have expected. I believe there was growth in Cameron County of about 2% in total deposits. But I really foresee that increasing from 25 to 26. Just at Rio Bank alone, Cameron County, we're one of the leaders in our company in deposit growth for this last year. So, I see that translating from what's happening here recently with what we just talked about, the LNG, all the household deposit increase have started increasing. The small business deposit accounts have started increasing. So yeah, absolutely. I foresee that number significantly increasing here in 2026.
Been for and you take a look at some of these conversations that we had, for example, with economic development in Brownsville, Brownsville incentives, and Harlingen EDC as well. Wow, the forecast for some of the projects that they expect to close on the horizon, billions more and thousands more jobs. In fact, I wanted to ask you if there's a whopper of a project that we're all expecting in Harlingen, that massive data center, and if we're ready for the demand on greater capital, because you got the big whopper of a project, let's say get a data center, but then you got complementary industry and then services and just a tentacle of other businesses that will be feeding into that whopper employer and multi-billion dollar investment for Harlingen as an example. Or do you do something different in banking to set aside some capital, some cash? Okay, let's make it available because we're going to have a lot of small businesses and individuals on the retail side and other mid-sized suppliers asking to let's set up shop and let's break some ground and put some square footage out there.
I think every bank's probably in a different situation as far as capital. But our here at Rio Bank, we definitely have a supply of capital to be able to uh, make available for such projects such as this. So
Mhm.
hopefully we are able to help the community and different types of projects that come to our way. I know there is going to be some significant projects coming here, as you know. I think Steve Guerra, the port director, has done a great job,
Yeah.
and you know, I think there's some more projects coming here our way there. And like you mentioned, the one in Harlingen. So and then of course the continued expansion. I don't know if there's another LNG plant coming here in the horizon. So I think most banks here are preparing, and I know we do have some significant capital backing Rio Bank to where we can get involved in some of these projects when need be. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that doesn't even take into account our neighbor Elon Musk at SpaceX. He crossed the, I think his valuation was at like 670 some odd $1 billion this week. He crossed the new threshold. He's a six. Remember the $6 million man when you and I were growing up watching Steve Austin? He's the $600 billion man.
Crazy.
And with SpaceX doing they're going to sell stock in SpaceX. There was an announcement, so valuation would be like $800 billion. This dude is setting up HQ at
Yeah,
Starbase there at Boca Chica. It's like we are the base for
yeah,
SpaceX and billions more headed toward this market. Now, let me ask you real quick. My guest right now is Armando Recio. He is the Cameron County Market President for our support of this special broadcast. Rio Bank, we're focusing on the state of the county. Our judge, Eddie Trevino, also going to be joining us to talk about the state of Cameron County. So much prosperity on the horizon, so many different projects. Just the capital infusion to SpaceX, where they can do what they want to do and build quickly and go vertical and do all these projects there. That's we're going to be landing a lot of that capital in that
right,
initial public offering. That's wonderful. You as Rio Bank, most of the lending that you do is, I'm guessing, would be on commercial and private side, right? Which you'll probably get a direct benefit from that wind headed this way, right? Or
right.
you do a lot of
Yeah.
capital projects for government and schools
I
and things.
just Correct. I just recently heard about this IPO that's coming for SpaceX. So I
Beautiful.
think that's going to be pretty exciting. That's going to create a lot of millionaires here in our area, which
That's
obviously is going to create a lot more deposits for our city and for our county. But yeah, absolutely. You know, we're really excited about what's going on out there, and you know, we're I think the foundation here with what the city's been doing, the Port of Brownsville, the county. I think we're ready for what's coming. Uh,
do you know? I don't mean to put you on the spot, but does that mean maybe setting up? I know last time I spoke with Mr. Sasser, he had mentioned that Central Texas, San Antonio, they pick up some assets up there, and they have
yes,
some sucursales. They have some branches up now in rural
correct.
parts of Central Texas, outside San Antonio, things like that. How about the Valley, though? Any talk internally about maybe increasing the footprint?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, yeah, as you mentioned, this is a milestone year for Rio Bank. We had a merger, or we acquired a bank in the Central Texas,
Mhm.
Lone Star Capital Bank, which increased our footprint from just the Rio Grande Valley all the way up to San Antonio. And but here in Brownsville, we just acquired a property where just because of what's going on here in Cameron County, we decided, and the growth we've had here in Brownsville and in Harlingen, we want to continue to serve our community. And we just purchased the property on the corner of Paredes and Alton Glore. I think it's a great location, easy access to the Port of Brownsville, and the main thoroughfare to Los Fresnos. So I think, absolutely, we foresee what's coming here in Cameron County, here in Brownsville, and we're getting prepared. But we've also put another branch, in Edinburgh. We're looking to put in expanding a branch in Elsa.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to continue the investments here in the valley.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what I
Man,
hear? If you're hiring. That's what I hear.
yeah,
You're hiring.
we're part of the increase in the job creation, I guess.
There we go. Uh, Anything else you want to share with me before I let you go? I appreciate your support for this broadcast.
Again, like, thank you for having me, Sergio. Uh, no, no, absolutely no. I think I appreciate you having me on. I'm really excited to see what's going on, and I'm
Yes, sir.
excited to hear Judge Eddie Trevino's state of the county address.
Mhm.
I know he's done a really good job in bringing in a lot of economic development here. So,
Yes, sir. Very
no, again, thank you for having me, Sergio.
yes, sir. Armando Recio is the market president for Rio Bank in Cameron County. We wish you the best this holiday season and a very prosperous 2026. Your success will be the success of many families in the area as well. Thank you, Mondo.
Thank you, Sergio. Appreciate it.